Well, hi guys. I don't need my glasses for this at the moment. Right. Hi guys, and welcome back to Together We'll Journey. My name is Jeanette, and in today's episode is about me talking to you about change and how to accomplish change in your life and embrace it. So stay tuned. Hi guys, I know it has been a while since my last video, but a lot has happened. There's been a lot of changes in my life, and it all began after the build. I just wasn't happy there, and then there were events that happened, and then the last one I think was my car dying pretty much, and the fact that where I was, there's no transport, no Ubers, no taxis, and it was just too much for me at the end of the day. And I felt unsettled there as well. So, which means that that place really wasn't for me. However, it's given me a good deposit to buy another house down the road. So I sold it. I sold it quite quickly. I put it on the market for 2 weeks, already got someone interested in it. And then it was a cash offer. So the settlement was about a month. It didn't really take that long. During that time, I took on like a full-time casual job just to get some money to move over here to Queensland. So where am I at the moment? I'm in Hervey Bay, Queensland. And at the moment, it ticks all the boxes. And that is actually one of many lists that I put together to make sure that this change was going to be the right move for me. So you can't go past the pros and cons list, okay? Do a pros and cons list, see where you are, if the change is right for you. So you put down all the pros of where you are, or put down the pros of where you want to move, or put down any pros of your next decision in your life. And then you put down the cons of it. And if the pros outweigh the cons, then that's a good thing. Or you can also do what I did as well, and I did like another column. And so what I did, I separated the pros and the cons. I said the pros of moving, the cons of not moving, and obviously the pros outweighed the cons. But then I also made another column, and this column was my manifestation column. So in order to manifest what you want, it's got to be in positive words, it's got to be in a positive manner. And so that's what I did. I started making another column, and it's just written in a sentence that is positive for me to be able to visualize what my next move is and the steps needed to action it to make my manifestation come to fruition. The second thing I did was literally make another list, but this is like a tick the box list. And when you're moving or you're deciding to move a job or anything like that, you've got to make sure that you're not going back into the same situation that you're trying to get out of. So it's got to tick all the boxes, right? And there's some boxes there that maybe, it's not important, but it's not important, but it'd be nice if I could have it, basically. So again, I divided like a page up of things that must have when I move. The things that I'm okay if it doesn't have it, but if it does, bonus. And then you go through there and then you add to the manifestation list of all the things that you want. And then soon you can picture where you need to be and where you need to go. So that's what I did. And then after all that, I then got some external clarification. So a lot of people will then ask other people. So you've got to be careful with this, right? When you make a choice and make a decision, and if you're single like me, then the decision, you don't need to really discuss with anyone else because this is your life, this is your path, this is your journey. So you don't really need to really go out there and seek, a clarification, or you don't need to go out there and seek, a positive smack on the back kind of thing. Yeah, you're doing the right job kind of thing. you do what you need to do for your life and your journey. However, if you're in a family situation, and then that's going to get a little bit difficult. So obviously, you and your partner will have to sit down and discuss what's good for both of you and for the family as well. So when you do external clarification, and if you're like me, I love psychics, all right? So I love going to my intuitive tarot reader, and I've been going to see this one for ages, and they've always been really good. And obviously, with tarot reading, it's reading your energy anyway. So you're paying someone to tell you what you already know. And it's what you already know in your heart. And when your heart's connected to spirit, then you know that you're on the right track. But if you're ruled by ego, then you may not be going down the right path. So you've got to distinguish what's ego and what's spirit, and what's in your heart. That brings me next to the next list. How do you distinguish between ego and spirit? So I wrote down all the things that were going through my mind, and then put E or S next to each of those things. So my process of decision making, I have to distinguish what's ego and what's spirit, as well as what I want to do compared to what my heart's telling me to do, right? So I do a lot of lists. And after all that, once I've written everything all down, like I said, I go through ego and what's spirit, and then I change the ego. So ego's keeping you safe, right? So it's from past experiences and stuff like that. And like, oh, if you move, you might fail, you may not be able to find a job, you might not be able to do this, whatever. That's your ego telling you, right, you've really got to think about it. You need to play safe. And you've got to figure out where that fear is coming from. So then you figured out what's ego, what's spirit, and then you make your decision from all your list that you've done. It's actually 3 lists, guys, only 3 lists. So from there, I then made the decision, right, I'm going to Hervey Bay, I'm going to go to Queensland, let's do it. I've been looking for work here as well, a bit of part-time work, and I finally got the date of when my temp work finished, and they were able to find a permanent staff to fill in their job. And so from there, I then looked at the best times to move in a month. So you don't particularly want to move on a full or new moon. You want to try and fit your move in between those two as well. And then I also looked at the feng shui calendar as well, with the best times to move and the auspicious times to move. So I decided I'm going to move within the 14th to the 20th of July. Unfortunately, my dad's birthday was on the 20th of July, but we did an early celebration for Dad. So I ended up flying out on the 14th night with Belladonna on Virgin, got over to Queensland, got myself a Airbnb north of Queensland, and already it's starting to feel like home. The surroundings seemed really familiar, and I'm not sure whether or not it was actually from the time that I was a kid that I lived in Petrie, because Petrie is north of Brisbane as well. So I'm not sure if something like that has integrated it into my memory. And to be fair, I'm not really too worried about it. So I just kept on going with that kind of, feeling. And so then I drove up to Hervey Bay with Belladonna, and a few hours later we ended up in our next B&B. I ended up getting a part-time job as a tour guide at Fraser Island. Now, how can you go about this? I love nature, and to be paid to go into nature and telling people how amazing this area is a no-brainer, right? So I got myself a little part-time job there as well. And then I ended up getting this rental that I'm in right now that you guys can probably see in the background here. This rental I got within a week and a half of being here in Hervey Bay. So you see how things are falling into place. When you don't fight things and you let things flow, you find that a lot of things will just come about. It's all about manifestation. It's all about being connected with spirit, and it's all about not fighting what's not there. So I've got all my stuff is in transit at the moment from WA. So I've got to wait a couple of weeks for that, and then yeah, and here I am at the moment. And Belladonna's got her furniture. I went out to Kmart and bought her a little cat scratcher. So she's the only one that's got furniture. I also got myself a little fridge freezer. Yeah, and just slowly going to make this place a home because it just feels good like this as well. And not only that, I went for a walk this morning just to see what's in my surroundings, you know. And I literally walked down the street and already I've got all the shops that I want within a 600-metre distance from this house. Amazing. Again, it ticks the boxes, all my boxes. So I know I've made the right decision. I'm confident I made the right decision. My spirit's telling me I made the right decision. So I am here in the time being to follow my path and my journey. So I'm back on YouTube, guys. Yay. So follow me and stay tuned. Check out as well my website. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you around in my next video. Bye.